Today I'm going to talk about raising chickens in American Samoa. Now, these chickens are wild caught. They're out of the many free-ranging chickens that roam wild here. So I captured them with a live trap and kept them in a chicken coop that we built. And every day I feed them. And what I'm doing right now is picking up the rocks that they kind of dug up, because every few days I roll up the cardboard, which is set right underneath where they roost, and so they poop a lot there. So the cardboard collects poop, and as you can see, I am rolling up the cardboard, so it's easy for me to carry all the way into the plantation, where I will dump it and it will serve as mulch and fertilizer. The purpose of keeping these chickens is to raise them for meat, so we can have our own locally raised meat, because food has been getting more expensive and American Samoa imports a lot of their food, so we're trying to become more self-sufficient. And the chickens, they do lay eggs too, but unfortunately they haven't been laying eggs lately because they're not the egg-laying breeds. They're basically generations feral, so they're not, bred specifically for eggs, so they're not specialized in egg production. But when fed properly, they still have good meat that's really good for soup. And every once in a while, when we have the guests come over, we harvest some of the chickens and serve them to the guests, because the Samoan chicken is a delicacy here. This is cardboard that I just took out of the chicken coop, and has banana leaves and the chicken waste in it, and always lay it out in an area that have the most weeds to suppress the weeds. The area used to have a lot more taller weeds, but as I started laying out cardboard and dumping garden waste, there's now barely any weeds there, and a lot less work since I've been doing it. And the chicken manure serves as fertilizer too. And in this plantation we grow a variety of plants such as taro and papayas, oranges, lemons, guava, and they're growing very well. And here I'm putting new cardboard underneath where the chickens roost. And this is cardboard, from the store near the house where I live, and we throw away a lot of cardboard boxes, so it's very convenient. And instead of having the cardboard end up in the landfill, it's used for the chickens to catch the manure, and then that is thrown in the plantation, where it's used as good fertilizer and mulch. And here I am changing out the food in their trough. This is food from yesterday, and the chickens, they eat mostly coconut shavings, because in American Samoa we use a lot of coconut to make coconut cream. So what we do is scrape the coconuts and then squeeze the cream out, and left over is coconut shavings that are squeezed out, and usually we toss them in the bushes. But now that we have the chickens, we feed them, we utilize them very well, because the chickens love to eat coconut. It's very nutritious, and it's free food, so no need to spend money on food. Another food you're seeing is taro and breadfruit is expired and no longer good for human consumption. So the chickens utilize it very well, since they like to eat it. This food that is over a day old that the chickens don't like to eat anymore, I collect, and either I toss it in the plantation where it can become compost, or I feed it to black soldier fly larvae, which are another important food source for the chickens that are also free, and those I'll talk about in another video. but that's how we utilize food waste that neither the chickens nor the dogs eat. So the black soldier flies can utilize any food waste that the other animals don't eat. So the chickens, they also eat a lot of kitchen scraps, and here I am giving some kitchen scraps vegetables that are cooked vegetables that are no longer good, and as you can see, they really like it. These are the coconut shavings that I've saved from when we make coconut cream. Put them in a bag and store them in the fridge and give them to the chickens daily. And it's very convenient when we make a lot of coconut cream because that way I don't have to scrape coconuts for them, because sometimes when we don't have enough, I just use the tiny coconuts that we otherwise don't use for our coconut cream because they're too small, so then I scrape those and just give them to the chickens. Now the coconut shavings that I have in the bag, because they've been squeezed out, I either add water to it, coconut water, or expired oat milk or almond milk, which I've added to it too, because we had some of from the store that was thrown away. This is where the chickens roost, and that's where they sleep too. These are two younger chickens, which I have separated from the others because they were barely growing, and I'm feeding them black soldier fly larvae, and since I've been feeding them, they've been growing a lot more. I will talk more about the black soldier fly larvae in the next video. This is a water dispenser that I've built myself for the chickens. It is made out of trash, made out of a plastic bowl, an old plastic water jug, and fishing net to hang it from so the chickens don't get it dirty that fast. And it works like this. There's 3 holes in the bottom, and once the water level drops low enough, the water refills again from the bottle, and that way the water will last a very long time.